card importation. Ghana confirms its first monkeypox deaths. Mastermind of terror attacks on U.S. embassies killed. Conjoined twins separated by use of virtual reality. The Nigerian government has banned the importation of subscriber identity model cards. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Mr. Issa Pantami, made the announcement in Onuru, Lagos. He said Africa's biggest country should not be importing things that could be produced internally. Mr. Pantami urged stakeholders and citizens to support government efforts to boost local patronage and consumption. It will be recalled that last month, Mr. Pantami informed the public that the federal government had established a SIM card manufacturing plant in Lagos. The facility, built with private sector support, has the capacity to produce 200 million cards annually and also export them to other African countries. Health authorities in Ghana have confirmed the first death from the monkeypox virus. Report says the infected person was a military officer who died 3 days ago, reporting the case in northeastern Ghana. The deceased had exhibited symptoms of fever and skin rash. 13 people who were believed to have interacted with the deceased are in isolation and are currently being monitored. As authorities say, they have initiated the necessary measures, including heightened surveillance and awareness creation to contain the spread of the virus. Ghana has so far recorded over 30 cases of the virus in 7 regions of the country, with more than 50% of the cases reported in Accra, the country's capital. Reports say the disease, which the WHO designates as a public health emergency of international concern, is transmitted from animals to humans and spread among people through direct contact with the bodily fluids of an infected person. However, the general public have been urged to practice regular hand washing and avoid direct contact with infected persons or animals. In the meantime, the state of California has become the second U.S. state to declare a state of emergency as officials try to combat the outbreak of monkeypox. As part of the state's ongoing response to the monkeypox outbreak, California Governor Mr. Gavin Newsom disclosed this today that a state of emergency has been to bolster the state's vaccination efforts. Ex-Tanzanian President Mr. Jakaya Kikwete will head the East African Community Observation Mission to Kenya and the general elections holding next week Tuesday. The mission of 52 observers, drawn from key governance and independent institutions and civil society organizations across the 7-member East African Community EAC bloc, is expected to be in the country till the 12th of this month. Speaking during the launch held at a Nairobi hotel, Mr. Kikwete said the mission would assess the level of preparedness of key electoral stakeholders in Kenya. Reports indicate that Mr. Kikwete will interact with a number of key, including IEBC, political parties, candidates, the judiciary, security organs, media, and civil societies. This is the word at noon, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. Ilyawi Okebale Oshobo, Voice of the West. Now, our mid-news message. Never play with the feelings of others, because you may win the game, but the risk is that you will surely lose the person for a lifetime. A Pakistan military helicopter carrying 6 senior military officers, including a top commander of 6 corps, is feared to have crashed while on a flood relief operation after losing contact with air traffic control. The helicopter was in Las Pilar when it lost contact with air traffic control. Director General Inter-Services Public Relations of the media wing of Pakistan's Armed Forces, Major General Baba Iftar, disclosed this, saying the helicopter is there to confirm the crash. Report says Deputy Inspector General admitted that the area where the helicopter reportedly went missing is a mountainous terrain, which complicated the search operations. Report says Pakistan Prime Minister Sharif expressed concern over the incident. Brazilian twins who were conjoined at the head have been successfully separated with the help of virtual reality. 3-year-old Bernardo and Arthur Lima underwent surgeries in Rio de Janeiro with direction from Great Ormond Street Hospital in London. The teams spent months training techniques using virtual reality projections of the twins based on CT and MRI scans. It was described by surgeon Non Celani as space-age stuff. It was one of the most complex separation processes ever completed, according to the charity which funded it. He said that for the first time, surgeons in separate countries wore headsets and operated in the same virtual reality room together. The twins had 7 surgeries involving more than 27 hours of operating time in the final operation alone and almost 100 medical staff. Ex-Tanzanian President Mr. Jakaya Kikwete, sorry for that mix-up, and here again are the highlights of the world at noon. The Nigerian government has banned the importation of subscriber identity model cards. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Mr. Issa Pantami, made the announcement in Lagos. Health authorities in Ghana have confirmed the first death from the monkeypox virus. U.S. President Mr. Joe Biden has confirmed that the CIA has killed the leader of Al-Qaeda in a drone strike in Afghanistan. Brazilian twins who were conjoined at the head have been successfully separated with the help of virtual reality. And that was the Word at Noon, edited by Olushola Egbedofo and delivered by Motorayo Ayigbayo. In today's news talk entitled Sharp Drop in Funding of Education in Nigeria and Constant ASUU Strike, Our Children Illiterate, guest writer Adron Adiamo say that the future of the country is bleak with the ongoing ASUU strike.
Literacy is the ability to read and write. People who cannot read and write are called illiterates. Hence, there are different ways to measure literacy. In one breath, people are considered literate if they have completed a certain number of years in school. In another, people's skills are tested to determine whether they are literate or not. But the various measures of literacy are not accurate and cannot be easily compared. From the 1400s to 1900s, literacy spread at an uneven rate. Newstalk posits that literacy levels varied widely from region to region, even within one country to another. But certain social and technological changes occurred after 1400 that made literacy possible for more people across the continent. Findings reveal that the World Bank, in collaboration with UNESCO in their investigation, discovered that funding for education dropped in low and lower middle income countries, 41% of which reduced their spending on education. With the onset of the pandemic in 2020, with an average decline in spending of 13.5%. In the same vein, richer countries have returned to pre-pandemic levels of funding in the very poorest countries. Funding has been driven below pandemic averages. It was revealed that a decline in funding for education will produce a loss of trillion naira in lifetime earnings, much higher than the billion naira estimated in year 2021. Newstalk is of the opinion that Nigeria is challenged. The future seems bleak. While the nation has lost a past glory with the education sector in shambles, in a situation like this, the unity of the nation is threatened, while the youth, whether lazy or hardworking, become products of land with no clear code of their responsibilities. Newstalk believes that with all indices, no doubt education is at the lowest ebb, and it is safe to ask, how will the future leaders be literate? Newstalk expresses the hope that the ASUU strike action will soon be over and the nation's tertiary institutions, having been closed for months, will just resume as if nothing happened, while students will go back to lectures like a rainbow that appeared without rain. Newstalk recalls that the technical, vocational, and craft schools have been bastardized, degraded, and left in coma with little or no hope of regaining its lost glory. It is equally worrisome. Number of school dropouts at levels of government feign ignorance as the number of school-age children that are not in school. To make the matter worse, stakeholders in the education sector are ignorant, and the rates at which some of the country's institutions produce pirated literate and unproductive literate and in many cases full illiterates. Newstalk posits that the future of the country will remain bleak. A nation where anything goes. Will this be the last of ASU strike? With 4 weeks added to 5 months only, time will tell.
That Newstalk entitled "With Sharp Probe in Funding of Education in Nigeria and Constant ASU Strike, Will Our Children Be Literate?" Guest writer Aduadiamo maintained that the future of the country remains bleak with a lingering ASU strike in Nigeria. The script was presented by Temitope Olaiwola. For more about us, you can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening to The World at Noon. Good afternoon.